Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So I've been keeping track of what's been taking place in Syria, what's been taking place across abroad. I think Syria is a tender pot. I think it has a potential for extraordinary consequences if we or the Western powers start getting more ingratiated in that particular country. So I've been extremely against us pushing further into that country. Not only is it illegal by international law, it's illegal by our own laws, and they haven't necessarily made their case that they're even using to justify those strikes. The case that's justifying our interaction in Syria has lessened that much more. The Syrian government has said, Syrian media anyway, or you could say an arm of the Syrian government, has said that rebels in south of Syria have, well, I just showed the article. Rebels south of Syria capital surrenders, state media. A Reuters source said some rebels from Damascus suburbs will be evacuated to eastern Syria as President Bashar al-Assad accelerates efforts on the remaining holdouts. He's consolidating power. And by the way, Jeff Koons, thank you very much for sending me the story. He sent me the story. This is 8 in the morning. That means Bashar al-Assad is consolidating power. That means he's regaining power in his government. That the terrorists themselves have, for all intents and purposes, lost, and that our reasoning for being in that country, the quote-unquote fight terrorists, has evaporated. Donald Trump coming out saying he's bringing the troops home is the correct thing to do, and it's the correct thing to say. At this point, there's no reason for our troops to be in Syria. We need to bring our troops home. Going by their own logic, for the reasoning that they were there, that's kind of the point I'm trying to make. By our own logic, we're there to fight terrorists. Well, many of those terrorists have essentially given up. Bashar al-Assad, whatever the means you think he's been using, meaning barrel bombs and everything else, he's a bad guy. He's consolidating power in that region of the world again. The United States, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Turkey have lost. Your foreign intervention has lost. So, if what Donald Trump has said is right, we're not there for regime change, we're there to get rid of the terrorists, great. Great. Whatever I might thought of your reasonings for being there, great. The terrorists are giving up. Many of them have given up. The last or the main strongholds have been undermined and taken down. Whatever the means you believe they used to take those down. Our reasoning for being in that country has evaporated. It is time to bring our troops home. If your justification for being in Syria was indeed actually the terrorists, it is time to bring our troops home. The justification for being in Syria has evaporated. We know, however, that the reason we were there had nothing to do with the terrorists, or maybe a smidgen, but it's less to do with the terrorists and more to do with geopolitical influence and getting Bashar Assad out that seat. The question becomes, what do these United States do now that their reasoning for being there has been shown to be somewhat of a sham? Are they going to actually bring the troops home? We will see. We will see. I'll leave it at that. And by the way, this has nothing to do with whether Bashar al-Assad is a good guy. It doesn't really matter to me. It's besides the point. Do I want my government in the business of regime change? The answer is no. Bring those troops home. Leave that country to its devices. All right, guys. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the Patreon. And Jeff, thank you very much for the news story. I hadn't seen this. Thanks, guys.